Even some of the sporting events,
200.
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day football, we
You know,
have
but
2 or
sporting
3.
events, even basketball games in the gym sometimes.
Right.
I mean, I just remember the detail officers being there.
Sure.
It depends on how many people are going to be congregated, what the anticipated crowd is, whether it's required or not.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the extra revenue and the purpose of detail is to allow these types of employees to earn a few extra dollars because of whatever reason. And I can appreciate that, but I see that more being done in if they're doing something with a private enterprise versus students doing a talent show, or throwing a football game. If they're playing a football game, they have to have somebody.
I would just caution, what is your expectation? Are you expecting that all the issues, all the events at the schools to be covered free of charge or not?
That are required. Well, I kind of do think that way.
That was my guess.
Yeah, I kind of do think that way because the students and the parents pay just to participate in the event, and then when they do the event, they have to pay more to do the event. So every time they do something, rather than as once upon a time, all these costs were thrown in, and they just did their plays, and maybe they ran a booster here and there. Now they're becoming reliant on these fundraising programs and so on. So they're relying on them, and then they have to pay money out just to have it. So, and if they could be a money loser one night, you know what I mean, for whatever reason. So, it's something that I honestly feel that if we're going to work together as a town and as a close-knit community, this is one of those areas I think those departments can step forward. So that's my thought on that. So.
Anything else, Jeff?
Yeah, one more thing. I also today, I attended the Veterans Day celebrations at the middle school and at the high school. And it's fantastic to see this. If you've not, it's not really open to the public. It's really within the school for them to see it. But the poetry that was read at the middle school was touching by kids who had grandparents that served in wars and so on. And the music, and in high school, I didn't see any texting. Nobody was trying to text. It was really the attention that they gave to the veterans in both cases was very rewarding to see when we look at the youth of North Reading, because we do have our youth is great here, and so it was just fantastic to see. So I guess that's it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it was really great. It was really touching and rewarding to see that.
Thank you. Sean?
Yes, I have a few comments. Most of my comments tonight are going to be associated with the school building project. The Secondary School Building Committee received word recently that the Massachusetts School Building Authority will have their final vote on whether or not to approve our school project on January 25th, 2012. As a result of that, the Secondary School Building Committee has a meeting this coming Tuesday evening. On that occasion, I anticipate the Secondary School Building Committee will have a set of dates to propose to this board to set a special town meeting and special election. And I will communicate that to my board members once I have that information as to what the desire is of the Secondary School Building Committee. My understanding is, and my expectation is, that we may be talking about a late in January date for the special town meeting, followed by early February date for the special election. Also concerning the school building project, the building committee has set up a number of meetings, but two of which right now are coming up, and they're open to the entire community. One on November 21st between the hours of 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. at the library activity room. There'll be a drop-in coffee forum in which members of the secondary school building committee will be present to provide information regarding the proposed project. And there is another large meeting planned. It's a community-wide informational session on November 29th at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. Once again, members of the secondary school building committee will be present to provide information concerning the project. So I hope these informational sessions are very widely attended so that folks can gather the information concerning the school building project.
Do you know if those are going to be televised through cable and maybe recorded so they can be rerun for people who can't make it? But
My understanding, and I believe the November 29th session is expected to be. I will have final confirmation on that.
I just think it's a good idea. You know.
Right. I hope to have confirmation on that at the meeting on Tuesday evening, the building committee. Other than that, given that today is the 236th birthday of the United States Marine Corps, and we're on the eve of Veterans Day, I just want to express my gratitude and appreciation to all our veterans, every woman and every man who served and continues to serve to protect us and allow us to continue to enjoy our freedoms and our liberties. I express my appreciation to them. Thank you.
Michael?
Yeah, just remind folks at home that are listening, please come down and join us tomorrow. I believe 10 o'clock we'll kick things off, so for the veteran ceremony and the flag raising and ribbon cutting. I hope to see everyone there. The new finance director, Elizabeth, is it Pavo? Is that how you say
Paveo.
it? Paveo. I wanted to just thank some of the board members that put the time and effort in along with you, Greg. I know you guys spent a lot of time in your personal time going through resumes and making the selection and reading her resume and hearing a lot about her. I think you guys did a phenomenal job, so I want to thank you all for your time you put into that. I know it wasn't a quick decision. I know you put a lot of time in, so thank you.
Thank you.
On December 5th, I have asked Heidi Griffin to join me. What I'd like to do is give the board a quick overview of the analysis that was done on the municipal sewer. You know, that study that we obtained $50,000. I don't think this board ever received a formal summary of the report. In between now and then, I will also email you the report itself so you can read it. I did have Greg upload a presentation I put together. I sat with Dick this evening, and him and I'm going to make a few changes to it. So feel free to go check it out, but it will change between now and December 5th. And I'm going to invite FinCom to be here as well for that meeting, and the Community Planning Commission will be here as well that evening. Unless anyone has an objection
No.
to that.
Looking forward to it.
The last thing I have, Craig, is a while back, you and I have had a discussion about the second egress for our food pantry, and I thought we were actually my understanding was you didn't think it was necessary and that you were going to work with your folks. But now I see that the door's been cut in, and they had to spend $6,500 on a second egress. And I don't know what's transpired since you and I talked, but at this point, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's just sad that they had to raise a lot of money to do that. But I'm sure you have good reasons.
It's a building code issue, and it's a life safety issue, Selectman Prisco.
Absolutely.
I can't compromise it.
That's fine.
I have to leave that in the hands of the building inspector.
No, they raised the money, and they're still raising the money, but now they're being told they're required to put in all this emergency exit signs and emergency lighting, which is another $1,600 in addition to the $6,500. I understand, and I could probably process through my mind the $6,500 for the second egress, because it is going to be a direct benefit for the food pantry. But these emergency exit signs and emergency lights will benefit the people that are in this building. That means every town employee, every resident that comes in and out of this building, in the case of emergency, they will see those lights, they will see those signs, and they will follow those to get out of this building. So that's really a direct benefit of everybody in the building, not just the food pantry. So I'd like this board and to you to consider picking up the $1,600 cost and not let them continue to raise money, especially we're approaching the holidays here and their biggest time. There's still well over 160 families going in and out of there. in need in getting that resource, which is an extremely valuable resource. I'd ask for some consideration, that we consider, because it is a benefit to this building, not just them.
Can I just ask what, my understanding also was that that second egress, well, at least my understanding was, the second egress was not necessary after that was raised some time ago. I don't know what transpired or what happened with that, and why did it all of a sudden become an issue anyhow? Food pantry has been there for some time. What has changed?
There's never been a second egress at that location, and as that facility continues to expand and grow, that second egress becomes a safety issue. And the building inspector determined that a second egress was necessary. It's legally required. There's no, we can't compromise.
And I'm not gonna argue with that point. I think the building inspector is doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, I
Suggesting
just-
the town pick up the cost of the emergency lighting.
Because it doesn't just benefit
Right.
the food pantry. If it did in the case of the second egress, I wouldn't be bringing this up, but where I think it is a benefit to everybody in the
That
building.
second egress does benefit the food pantry in my judgment. There are second egresses from every other point in this building other than that backstage area where the food pantry is.
Oh, no, I know, maybe you
No, no,
misunderstood me.
yeah,
I said I agree. I think you're doing the right thing. I think your building inspector is doing the right thing by requiring it. I do. For safety, safety comes first. What I disagree with is that you're gonna require the food pantry to pay $1,600 for emergency lighting, emergency signage, that people that are in this building can use that now, that second egress, and the doors adjacent to it to get out of the building in case of emergency.
But that second egress that's being constructed only benefits the food pantry. That doesn't benefit the rest of town hall. I cannot fathom
But
someone
the
from
lights
this
aren't
end.
just for that, Greg.
Someone going from this end of the building, Selectman Prisco, down to that location that strictly benefits the people that are utilizing that space and no other space.
It's absolutely not true, sir. It's absolutely not true.
Well, I don't care
Because
to
you-
have a debate on this issue in public session. I'd be happy to bring in the building inspector to a meeting. You can ask the questions of him. If that's the way the board wishes to proceed on this matter, then let's do that. Because I'm not prepared to
Right.
speak on the issue.
All I'm asking is put the issue aside, okay? We have a service that is being provided out of our town building. We grant them permission to be here. We're providing a service, and all I'm asking is that this town consider paying the cost to install this emergency lighting and emergency signage, not, yes, the taxpayers to pick up that cost. Because I don't believe, in what I do believe, what I don't believe regarding the benefit of it, but to at least consider it after they just spent $6,500 to put in that egress. And again, I can't emphasize enough, we're in the start of the holidays, which every penny they need to make sure they can have food, gifts, and other things that they provide for their services out of the food pantry for these families. That's all I'm asking for. I don't want to debate it, because debating it at this point isn't going to change anything. What needs to be done is this board just needs to make a decision. Do we want to spend taxpayer money to put something in this building or not?
Well, there's two questions, Mike. There's the one, do you want to spend it? And two is, do we have it? I mean, we don't have a blank check.
No, we don't.
Bob, I'm
So
out.
it's gonna come out of some existing budget, right?
You know, and I would do this myself, I would pay for it myself, but I've already provided quite a bit of money, so I understand what you're saying. All you have to say is no.
I'm not
Yes or
saying,
no?
I'm not saying no.
Oh, well, I
I'm
don't know what you're
saying-
saying then.
No, I'm saying it's gonna come out of some budget, right?
Okay?
So, I think, Greg, if the board wishes to, decide the town should pay for the lighting, Greg has gotta come up, back to us and say, I found a place for this money, or we can't afford it at this point in time. I mean, that's the question.
No,
And
it's not
two
the question. Is that
No,
the
two
action, or is that?
Well, we can say a lot of things. Let's go buy this, let's go do this, let's pay, let's paint the building, right? But if the money isn't there,
I
it doesn't
understand that,
get
Bob.
done.
I understand that.
So there's a budget that's already been approved, the money is allocated, right? And now you wanna add something to the budget, so something has to go. Or you're assuming there is some surplus money somewhere, which there may be.
Which there is.